Hi, this is Julia Bell. Today I'm going to talk about Principles of Information Assurance, citc 1351. A couple of things to note. I've been having some trouble getting students into the online jblearning.com labs. I found out that jblearning gave me the wrong class code. They're having to set up another class code for this, so don't let that dismay you. Here's some simple instructions. You can go ahead and use the code that you purchased when you purchased your paper or your electronic book. And instead of entering the course ID, for now, choose the non-instructor led, the freestanding, the self-standing kind of course. So don't pick the instructor led with the course ID for now. And as soon as they give me that course ID, we can all be in one course together. So this number that I had listed earlier is the one they gave me, but it was for version 2, and we're using 3. So mistake on their part. My apologies. I want to look at the course information under content. I've had some questions come up. I'm going to look at chapter 1. Everybody did the orientation materials. Thank you so much. That was wonderful. Here's just a note telling you to read chapter 1, what pages it is. This is actually a copy of chapter 1 from the book, in case you didn't have your book at that point. These items, these are actually the lectures. I had 2 lectures for chapter 1 because it was a more in-depth chapter covering so much material. Inside these lectures, there are questions that you need to answer. I'm going to go ahead and bring this one up. I narrate, inarticulate, and no, I don't want to resume where I was before. And I'm going to just, after the first one, when you advance to the second slide, you'll hear my voice talking, and I'm going through that and talking about the different things that relate to that slide and the information. When I'm finished, it automatically advances to slide number 3. If you're ahead of me, you can fast forward to whatever you want and go forward. I want to show you the first question. So I'm skipping a little bit. I click skip, 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 and it's skipping a lot of audio there. Here's the first question set. The slide before it, I talked about the risks, the threats, and the vulnerabilities. You get 3 attempts at this, and you can always go back out of the whole thing and come back and do all the questions again. I didn't set the number of limits, but really you should be doing chapter 1 when we're covering chapter 1, not in the last week of class when you realize, oh my, I didn't do any of these questions. So do those now. Risk, what is a risk? Again, if you listen to the slide beforehand or you look it up in the book, you know what a risk is. I'm not going to necessarily answer these right. I'm just going to pick them in order. And of course, I did not get them right, but that's okay. It gives me another chance, as in, okay, you didn't get these right. Let's figure it out. So I can figure that out and go on to the next one. There are a couple of sets of questions embedded in this articulate presentation. So you need to answer those to get the points. I'm going to just exit because I know that wasn't right, and I don't want to waste your time in this video just going through every page. Here's the second one. Same deal, it's got points. First assignment, I'm going to bring this up. This one is an easy one. Do I mind if you use your book to answer these? Go right ahead. It's not meant to be torment. This is just a matching activity that I designed in soft chalk. You actually read the items at the top and match them with one at the bottom. If you believe that A matches to the first one, you would leave A. If you believe this one was B, and so forth. And when you get done, you can check your answers. I'm going to just tell you I didn't do very well. All right. Didn't do very well on this at all, but I can choose to finish it and accept that score. But I'll just tell you, any professor that gives you the opportunity to go back and redo things with no penalty, I would. So that is assignment 1. This is actually a video. Here I talk about the lab, first lab. This is not something you turn in. This is part of designing a good quality course. You put before the labs what's going to be due. So talking about each lab is going to have the 3 components to it. Here is the first lab. Okay, these are the items that I need turned in for lab 1. On part 1, step 11, you're going to take a screen capture of that step, and I need that. I also need the files called your name, like my name is Julia Bell, so it'd be Julia space Bell space intent scan. That's also part of the lab, number 1. It tells you when to save this file. So if you follow the directions step by step, it'll lead you through. If you've never made a fisheye bubble chart, no worries. You'll be a pro when you finish, because again, the labs are step by step and they don't assume anything. You also need to turn in the lab assessment worksheet. I have placed that right here for you. This is nothing other than a reminder of the things you've got to turn in, which are, again, here. But some people like to print that out and have it in front of them when they're doing a lab. I'll get this spreadsheet. All right, here is the fill-in. You'll want to download this and then save it. I'll go ahead and open that for you. That's my downloads. There it is. Okay, here it is. So I could fill it in. You know, fill in my name there. But you just can't open a live completion PDF from a web page. You have to download it and save it. So just be aware of that. You know, you fill in your name, fill in all these different information. And then down here you get to the questions. All right. I'm going to go back to the web page. I'm going to close this document. And I'm going to back up a page. All right. Now, here is a quiz on lab 1. After you go and complete the lab, you need to complete this quiz. Yes, it's perfectly fine to have the instructions there in front of you and all the answers to those other questions. It's multiple guess, and yes, you can take it a couple of times. This one is multiple guess, non-graded, but you may see these questions again on your final, so it's a good idea to think about taking those. I'm going to go ahead and do this first lab, or at least start it. I'm at Jones & Bartlett. If you are new to the whole game, you can redeem your access code here. I'm going to say I agree to be a good digital citizen. This is not my access code. I'm just putting in some random, and you click redeem, and if it's real, it says great. I'm going to back up because it's not a real number. It would then give you the option, let me back up one more, to log in or to create an account. If you've ever used another Jones & Bartlett product, you can use an account. If you haven't or you don't remember, you can set up a new one. Do make sure and use your .edu, your senator's email, to register. I'm going to log into mine. It's thinking. Okay, great. Here we are. All right. I want to, this is the one we're in. The lab access, you won't get all these choices. Here's the one that was created that doesn't work right. It's supposed to be 3rd edition, but it's not. It reminds me each time that I'm enrolled as an open enrollment. I don't have a course ID. And launch open or launch a course. As soon as I get that course ID, I'll give it to you, but right now I don't have it because they've changed that on me. All right, when I get that course, I can put things out there for you and all kinds of great things, but right now, don't worry about it. Here's some tasks to know before you begin. You know, how to contact technical supports if the labs are not working, how the virtual security cloud labs, kind of a preface, kind of something about those that you might need to know, and talk about the entire ISSA security series. I'm going to look at the first lab. I thought it was. Okay. Here we go. Not good. I'm going to be a good little digital citizen. I have read this stuff before, and this is their intellectual property, so don't steal it. So we have no problem there. Location. I'm going to just say start the lab. Well, that's interesting. Location I am in. You just tell it where you are and go. That's a new feature I hadn't seen before either. And it's powered by Hat Size Company. And keep in mind, when this is actually, how's it coming up? There you go. When it brings this up, this is real equipment. You are not connecting to a simulator. You're actually working with the real deal. So real equipment takes a minute to boot up. Simulated or fake equipment comes up much quicker. I found these labs take sometimes 3-4 minutes because it's going to be spinning up several servers, a router, a switch, and some other connections, and then interconnecting those for you. So it's got a lot of things that it sets up in a short amount of time. While that's thinking about that, I'm going to look back real quick and a little reminder. All right, here is the second assignment. This is a small writing assignment. I'll open that up. It's a Dropbox. Read the assignment sheet. Here it is attached. And submit a report addressing 3 of Richmond IT's infrastructure domains. There's more than 3 domains, but all I asked for is 3. And you want to make sure that you've looked at what's going on and then talk about those. And here's some of the criteria that I use for grading when I look at that. And here's the document. And okay, I'm still waiting on that lab. I think it might be up. Here's the sheet. Okay. You're a new intern. Congratulations on your promotion here. You're going to work with a large company, 5,000, and we've got desktops, mobiles, and wireless devices. Wireless devices, that could be anything from a handheld scanner to wireless printers to so many different things. Your supervisors came to you and said, hey, I need you to make an internal use only report and talk about the data classification that our company would use for internal use only documents. So you can use your text to look up what internal use is, or you can also feel free to use Google or whatever your search engine. Use the library's database, wherever you want to look. All I ask is that wherever you've looked to get information, that you cite your sources in an APA format. If I get one email that says I don't know how to do APA, I'll put a video out on that as well. But cite it in APA format, and any good citation will have more than one. It's okay to reference the textbook. It's okay to reference websites you found out on Google. Please use reputable. That would be better. If you're using a definition, Wikipedia is fine. If you're using Wikipedia as your entire foundation for an argument, not good. Okay, and then here at the end, just make sure you have answered these questions. I have identified at least 3 IT infrastructures affected by this internal use only, and I've included details on how those domains are affected. I'm going to close this. Just thinking here for a second. Let's go to the lab. Everything is up. This is great. Okay, common task. Here's the introduction to this lab. You know, learning objectives, the overview. Here's what this is always important. What does the topology look like that I'm connecting to? This topology has 2 routers, a switch. It's got a workstation on the far left, and it's got some servers here underneath this one router. So you get a lot of great things. It lists the names of the equipment here. Here's your tools and your software that you'll be using. You're going to be using FileZilla, NetWitness, Nessus, PuTTY, TFTP, D version 64, which is 64-bit. You use Wireshark and ZenMap. The beauty of this is none of this software loads on your home PC. So there's no worry about contamination or tracking anything. It's all contained in these units at the vendor's site. Okay. Going to end up with a lab report. Here's the different sections. Okay, let me scroll on down. Hands-on demo. On your local computer, do this. When you get that part done, proceed to the next part. Here we go. Here's the instructions. Notice things, especially that you type, are in bold, and it's got pictures built in so you can see what you're doing and how it should look each step of the way. These are not labs that you're going to get done in 5 minutes. It's going to take some time. So do keep that in mind. All right. Connecting to a Linux machine. Here is the second part. And again, you go down through here. It assumes no Linux knowledge. It's going to walk you through what you need to do. So no worries there. ZenMap. Again, it's going to walk you through screenshots along the way. And in the applied learning, this, yeah, this is a different one. Okay, there's some that the applied learning I do require, but I do not require the challenge. So the challenge is going to be something I'm not requiring you to do, but feel free if you've got time and you want to explore more to do that. It's a great thing. Okay, it says the wireless on this is good. I can choose here to disconnect and stop everything. You have been disconnected while it's going away. Okay, make sure in any reports you create out there in that lab to port those to your home PC before you leave, because it wipes it clean once you leave. You don't just come back and your reports are there, because these are servers that are shared by many. So keep that in mind. There are 10 of these labs. They do take some time. And if you do have further questions, please feel free to talk to me, to give me an email, to call me, whatever you need, and I'll be glad to help in any way that I can. And thank you, and have a great day.